Կոզումել Մեքսիկա։ Վերցրել ենք Մայաների տուրը։
Make the line, please. It's parallel to the Patrick. Good morning. Follow the line. Welcome to San Gervasio. Camera 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Next, please.
The middle of a protected area, so nobody lives into here. It's an ecological reserve. Okay, so later we're gonna take you this side of the island.
Where do you live?
In town, miss. This is only one single city, so major part of the island is protected because resources are limited. Everybody lives here, amigo. Yeah, 88,000 inhabitants here in San Michael town. Thank you, amigos. Ladies, room to the left. For gentlemen to the right, next to the snack bar. I'm gonna meet you at the next tiki hut, please. Next to the snack bar, it's our meeting point in 10 minutes. Thank you. Maybe Tulum? No. Maybe chicken pizza? Chicken pizza. Sorry, Macovia. I didn't have a good breakfast, so I'm starving. Chichen Itza. Is that right? Yeah. Excelente, amigos. Somebody else's, amigos? I'm asking if you've been in Mayan Ruins before? Monte Albán, okay? So I mentioned this, amigos, as a highlight of the area. For example, we got Cova, Tulum, Chacchoven, Uxmal, Cava, Labna. If you notice, many or majority in their authentic Maya language. Isn't it true? Why this one sounds different? This one is called San Gervasio. Sounds very Spanish, don't you think? Here's the thing, amigos. This was a private land. Somebody purchased this property back in 1930s with intention to operate a farm. So, for bulls and horses, right? Mr. Gervasio Nobelo was the person who purchased this land. So you can imagine, what is the first thing we do after we purchase a land? We clean it. So once this gentleman, his family and his staff started with the cleaning process of his property, is when all of this comes out. They found that all of this covered by dirt and vegetation. But back in 1930s, amigos, Mexicans didn't know too much about their own history. I don't want to be offensive with this, amigos. It's not my intention. We're talking about history, right? So the reason why we were ignorant about it, friends, is because the church was actually controlling the access to information, because was part of the conversion from indigenous person to Catholics. Got it? So this person doesn't know that much about this, but he hear about legends. So he started to attempt against using dynamite, probably looking for gold and treasures. Unfortunately, amigos, nobody tells to him in advance that Mayas never got contact with metals at all. So all this devastation, amigos, is for the ignorance of the first owner. Till 1975, Mexico knows about it. Right? Too late, amigos. 45 years after, the devastation was already made. So it's when we started the confiscation process to finally bring the institution of anthropology, 1983. First official excavation. So we're still on a rescue process, researching an excavation of more. That's why the dimensions of our temples. We didn't make any reconstruction yet, such as Tulum, such as Chichen Itza. The place is still under investigation. Got it? Please, amigos, watch your step, por favor. We're gonna visit the first one. No more human sacrifices. It belongs to the past. Watch your step all the time. Tour guides for Iranian rivers. This part of Mexico, we call it cenotes, flooded caverns underneath. So what do we need for a civilization? Water and food. That's the reason why they got established here. Because 27 subterranean rivers are passing by. That's why the humidity. That's why everything looks so green. Because the water, it's underground. Okay? Come closer, family. Look at this. The tiki hut is not a replica about how it was 900 years ago. It is made to protect some details of painting that we can see on the wall. Can you see that? Behind the monoliths, we can see handprints in red. We can see turquoise, blue, yellow, and green. And you know what? It matched with the colors of this book. Can you see the bottom of the page? blue, red, yellow, and green. How do the Mayans obtain these colors?
Berries.
Plants, aloes, blood from insects and crustaceans, and minerals, right? So it's organic, it's natural.
And their neighbors.
If, amigos, I take DNA tests from a brick, it can give us random numbers and not very close to reality. The reason why, amigos, is because the Mayas got the tradition to fight in between each other. So once they conquer another Mayan tribe, they destroy the temples, and with the same bricks, they develop new temples according to their architectural style. So it will be hard to pursue it an official date out of the bricks. You understand? So what we take, amigos, is a chemic reaction from the painting, call it carbon 14. Very close to reality. The paintings are 900 years old. That's the only way we know these temples belongs to the post-classic period, thanks to the paintings, okay? We got the round columns, monoliths, traditional on this part of Mexico. Tulum, Cancun, and Cozumel has the same decoration at the entrance of religious temples. It seems is a meaning of duality. Yin-yang for a few, hell and heaven for others. For the Mayas, the moon and the sun are the ones who keep the balance in their universe. It's the main part of their mythology. So every religious temple has a decoration of round columns, okay? You notice that we have a tiny entrance in the main oratory? That make us believe in how short was the Maya people, isn't it true? I gotta be honest with you, my friends. Grandma is a little person like this size. She speaks Maya, she dressed folkloric, but it's still so small for her. But it's a temple. So what you should do? You must bound yourself and show some respect, amigos. Inside, we can see a square building. It's a water container where the Mayas also put hot stones in contact. So that makes the effect of a steam. It's a sauna. It's an steam room family. And you know what? I don't think the Mayans were really enjoying hot showers in the middle of the tropics. I'm sweating right now. But it gotta be, amigos, something that involves an entire ritual. Because this is very common in all our indigenous societies. Aztec, Mixtecos, Toltecos, they have steam room, sauna. Call it temazcal, correct? Incense and hot water for them as a purification method for soul and for body, correct? Plus the temples, amigos. What else we found it here? Hundreds of pregnant woman sculptures in the stones. Hundreds of symbols who match with the position of the moon. And several mentions to a particular deity, name it Ishel. Can you say that name for me?
Ishel.
Ishel. Sounds like Michelle, right? Ish, Shell. Maya, Ish, she. Shell, a bright face. She, the bright face. On the sky, according to mythology, every 28 nights. Who is she? Full moon, to be specific. Ladies, I'm not going to get into details, but she is the main connection you have with fertility. So we believe the Mayas pilgrimage from all over the Mayan world to Cozumel, especially to get married. So they come here to the sauna as a purification process previous to something bigger. Can you see the road? It's original, family. You see the path? It connects the sauna with a huge religious plaza that we're going to step later. One single stage in the center. We already know by records the Mayas performed massive wedding ceremonies under the full moons. Right there. This is not the only sauna. There is another steam room there and another tree behind under excavation. So a lot of people was part of that ceremony. Right? Pregnant woman sculptures, description of cycles of the moon, plus Ishel. All of this about fertility. Not only pregnancy, the soil. Also, they come here to ask for fertility in the soil, because for the Maya, corn and babies is the same cycle, 260 days, moon cycle, correct? Correct? It's holding the foundation of the temple, right? Later, once we start with reconstruction, archaeologists need to take the last decision with this, all right? Let's continue, family. Let's move on top of grass. It will be easier and smoother. Just watch the step all the time. We're going in that direction, down the tree. Can you see, friends? The foundation of all the construction, same happened to the moon. That's probably the devastation these bricks to the entrance of the highway. So the local people from town comes to here to purchase material for construction. Those bricks were good to make the foundation of houses. So you're gonna see the rest of our temples just peeled as bricks in the corner, in the way out of the highway, to the highway, amigos, correct? So we lost part of our history for ignorance only, friends, okay? Please, let me take you to the next structure. You see my good friend Francisco, one of the keepers. That's the shape of our Maya people, amigos. We were short. Francisco, Cerrucho.
They stopped drinking milk, right?
Oh,
Not-
yes.
Not to grow.
Not too much food in here, amigo. It was limited resources. And the religious conception of the Mayas. Hope you understand this, amigos. The Mayas are not considered a kingdom or an empire for the way they split the political class, amigos. So the power is not established in one single person. Actually, friends, Mexico has one single empire, Aztecs. The other ones are considered civilizations. Empire, Aztecs. One single emperor. Last one, Moctezuma. Right, amigos? Different times. They were after the collapse of the Maya, so they never meet each other. Otherwise, the invasion of the Europeans will be a completely different history if Mayas and Aztecs works together. Got it? Millions of inhabitants in that time. Here's the thing, amigos. The way they rule, the way they administrate a place is due to knowledge. Because majority of people stays on ignorance, and they were forced to stay where they are. Sounds familiar? Power. Knowledge was power in that time. So the way we know they passed the crown is by heritage, amigos. By bloodline. That's why the political class has many childs. 10, 15, or 20 if it's possible. The life expectation of a Maya is 30 to 35 years old. On a healthy life, 5 or 6 kids. Correct, mis amigos? So who are the only ones able to have more than 6 kids? The ones who live longer. So why they should live longer? They don't go to war. They got better food, access to medicine. Right, mis amigos? So once you pass the 45 years old, you becoming a wise man. You got all the knowledge, you got a lot of experience, and you will for sure be part of the political class. Correct, mis amigos? The dimensions of this. Look at this building, amigos. Round columns again. So whoever lives into here has access to a private temple. Got it, friends? It's a classroom. That's what I believe. Because we can host here a lot of people. This is a house, it's a regency. I know it's hard because we don't have roof, we don't have walls. At least we have the beds. That's why we know it's a house. These 3 elevated platforms from the ground are beds. So you think you sleep in a hard bed with breakaway? Spend one night here, amigos. And tell me how's your bag at the end. Here's the thing, my friends. We're watching ruins right now. The temples wasn't like this 900 years ago. The Mayans are famous because they use a stucco, a natural mortar, to add the stone. And finally, they covered the entire building and everything goes polished by hand with another material. Obsidian, right? It's a volcanic crystal. But Yucatan area has no natural elevation. We don't have mountains, we don't have hills, we don't have any volcano here. That support the idea of the trade system they were holding for centuries. Mayas were navigating and they were walking with different supplies so they can trade with other societies. Got it? So our people from Cozumel take salt and honey by boat, by canoe to Central America so we can bring obsidian back to here. In times of no metals, obsidian, amigos, you know, is claving here. It's good for weapons. It's good for tools. All right, mis amigos? So the stucco, it's sand, limestone powder, honey, and sap from the trees. Right? It's a natural glue. So they use this here. They covered the entire building, they polished, it was decorated, painted, and of course their beds were covered by palm trees and animal leather, because the protein come from the jungle. Y ahora, mis amigos, jaguar, monkey, tapir, wild pigs, all the leather come from the jungle. Got it, amigos? So whoever lives into here has private access to a private temple. And we can host here, amigos, more than 10 to 15 people capacity. Plus this, amigos, the instructor has his own banquet connected with the sauna and with the religious plaza. That's not it. We found it, ceramic with decoration. The decoration in clay ceramic, it's important, family, because low cases use basic clay. Political class always decorate their jars as one way to explain the history of the family, with who they get married, with who they were holding alliances. We can pursue it, all this information in their decoration of their clays. Because we collapsed early, previous their arrival. They saw a civilization on decadence. That's the difference. The survivors were just living into the jungle in small tiki huts, because all these temples were already abandoned in the arrival of the Europeans. That's why they consider us savage. Otherwise, if they come here 200 years early, the history will be different. For that shock of the contact with an active Maya civilization. That's why the Spanish didn't establish here first. No gold, hard to look for water. Savage people, no thank you. They were looking for El Dorado. They were looking for gold and stuff like that. So they belong to different tribes. So once they break an alliance, they go and invade one each other, they burn the village, and they bring the survivors to work as slaves. Another one, infections, amigos. Because the Europeans actually start to arrive early. It's the Spaniards who leave our records. But many more excursions passed through here, and they brought infections. Yellow fever, it's the first factor. 40% of our population was out after the first handshake of a European with an indigenous person here. Got it, amigos? Later, the imposition of a new order, which is the conversion to another. It was easier for me to explain, you know, than is by the constant hit of one brick against another one, or easier for me was to tell where the aliens. You know, it's the UFOs who make this, you know. But family, later, during my certification as a tour guide, they took us to nearby Chichen Itza to show to us how the people nowadays are still making this powder out of the limestone. We call it cal, C-A-L. Got it? Cal. It's an element to make cement nowadays. Got it? It's the finest powder you can get. Calcium powder from this. So that showed to us how they break the limestone. It's an entire process, family. The dry caves just to work as industrial ovens. So they were not very respectful of Mother Nature. They needed wood. They exposed the huge pieces of limestone into fire for 10 to 12 hours. Once the piece of limestone is warm, they take it out, and cold water from the subterranean rivers was thrown in a line, and one single hit, amigos, caused the crack. It's one single crack, amigos. Later, every slave with obsidian and water by friction makes the perfect shape of a brick according to the instruction of the engineer or the contractist on that time. So it's a process of 16 to 18 hours per brick. All right? That's the reason why they built one single road. You see the road, amigos, is the main avenue on the ancient times. This road, amigos, covered 10 miles, and it passed transversal to the island, connecting west coast all the way with the open seaside, east coast of the island. It's 10 miles, area amigos, where we believe astronomers were having their spot. Religion and science will always have this complicated relationship, you know. I need you, but go farther. All right? So here's the thing. Close to the area of astronomers, we found the obsidian, but as filters. Because it's a glass, it seems they use it to see the sunlight straight without her. Come back soon. I got another ceremony in 28 nights. Please, bring more donations. You can't imagine that? I'm sure from that. How much we spend to get married nowadays. why it should be different back in those days. Got it, my friends? So here's the thing. The goddess Ishel tons of corn. It was got it, amigos? Because it matched with the cycle of the moon. Stop making comparison of Mexico with Egypt or with Incas. It's not the same. Incas in Peru and Egyptians are sun civilizations. Correct? Mongolia, Russia, Asia.